Well, you grew them for like 11 years or something, right?
Yeah,
Is
11 years.
And
the
then,
first time, 11 years.
First time.
Yeah.
So they got to be that length, but then you ended up going to prison.
Yeah.
And you had to, and they cut your hair.
They did. As soon when you go to prison in Brazil, as soon as you get in, they shave your head.
Right.
Yeah, it's they say it's for like
safety.
And whatever else.
Yeah, safety, and they say that for cleaning purposes.
Okay, cleanliness and stuff. Interesting.
So as soon as you get in, they shave it.
Now, you didn't go to prison. What happened with the prison thing? Because you were here in America and you went back to Brazil and they got you right at the airport.
Yeah,
right?
I went for a skate trip for 10 days, and the trip would be like Rio, São Paulo, and I would go to Porto Alegre, which is south of Brazil. So I did Rio, São Paulo, Porto Alegre. I flew to Rio to catch the plane back to US.
Okay.
And my flight, I think it was at 11 p.m. So at 9:30, I came in to do like,
a couple hours early.
Yeah, customs, everything.
Oh, so you were coming back to the States. You weren't going
coming back to the States. And at that point, my lady and my kid were here.
Wow.
And I went for the trip. I was coming back home.
Sure.
So when I went to like the passport control, the guy, like check my name, and they were like, "You are under arrest."
Yeah.
I was like, "Under arrest?
Why?
Like, it's just there.
Why?
Like,
For like which reason?" I was like, kind of like, really?
What are you
Like
talking
you got
about?
the wrong person. or
Yeah,
something.
trying to think like,
do I have an unpaid skate ticket?
yeah.
or
I was like, what did I do? Like to be under arrest? Like trying to think,
Yeah.
And then like he was like, "Oh, you cannot go on this flight tonight. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
We're gonna go to this room. We have a little like police station here at the airport. Was like Rio airport.
Oh, okay.
We go and the guys check on the computer and they're like, man, like there is some like tax problems with under your name.
You didn't pay.
You had a company, and then I was like, no, I don't have a company.
Huh.
And they're like, oh, you do like leather business, and then when they said that, that's my dad's business.
Your dad's been
Yeah.
doing leather for
For a long time, for like
40
decades.
years or
yeah,
something.
40 years.
Right.
So I was like, man, like, and then I remember what happened. Because like when I was like a teenager, my dad just asked me, oh, could I put your name under the company? So just better than one owner, like two owners, you are my son,
Oh, okay. Sounds
and then
reasonable.
at that time I was getting some money from skateboarding already. So like he had some problems under his name with bank accounts and credit and all that. So he started using my bank account for a little while.
Okay.
So all those years that he used, maybe like 2-3 years, my bank account, my name, he paid the taxes for all that.
Okay.
In Brazil, we have this thing that we pay in the font, which is like before you send like product, you can pay your taxes.
It's like quarterly taxes? Yeah.
So he would do that. But like he didn't realize, since I was like maybe like underage, or like he didn't realize that I would have some other taxes under my name. So when the company went out of business a couple years later, he went to the accounting and closed the business and everything, but my name was attached to those taxes.
So he thought he closed everything.
Yeah.
Everything was all done and perfect. And since you were underage, it came with additional taxes that you didn't know about.
I didn't know about it.
So now you're at the airport, they find all this out, and they said, I mean, it's pretty much tax evasion or something, right? It's like unpaid taxes.
Yeah. And at that point, like then I realized, I was like, wow, man. And he was like, yeah, that's leather business. You have a leather business. I was like, no, it's my dad's. And they're like, yeah, so you are under arrest because of that. So call your lawyer. And if tomorrow morning, before you take anywhere, you're gonna have to sleep here.
Oh, wow.
But before we take you anywhere, he's gonna have to talk to the judge and see if they give you habeas corpus, the what you can be free until they judge or whatever.
Yeah. Sure.
And then next morning, like 6 a.m., like 8 a.m., like my lawyer calls and says, man, they denied the habeas corpus because you have an address abroad.
Oh.
They thought maybe you'd come here and stay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they denied. So I had to go to jail.
Not even jail, like prison.
Prison. Yeah,
Dude.
straight up. Since I was arrested at the airport, they cannot hold you in a, like those little jails. Like in Brazil, we call delegacia. It's just like
a county
police
jail.
station.
Sure.
Yeah. They cannot hold you since it's a federal area,
Crime,
like the airport. So that you have to go to the prison, like state prison.
Jeez.
And Rio is one of the roughest cities to go to a state prison.
It's a bad prison.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's straight up crazy.
And you're in there for like
almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was it. Wow.
I mean, it wasn't an option to like pay off the taxes or
not
what
at
was
that
it?
point.
You would think that
since I was under arrest, so there was no bail, so I had to be arrested. They could talk to
you were a flight risk.
Yeah. So I would have to talk to the judge. My lawyer talk to the judge and see how they're gonna fix that.
Gotcha.
So they asked, since I was arrested in Rio, so I had to go to prison, and they would ask for my transfer to my hometown. It was so funny. I flew arrested to my hometown.
You flew in handcuffs.
Oh my God. That's
like, did you put a coat over it or something so nobody could see?
No,
like,
they just like...
Here comes Adelmo in handcuffs.
No, and it was
to get on
funny
the
too, because
plane.
one of the policemen, he was a surfer, so he knew me from skating.
Jeez.
So he was like, Adelmo, man, we had to put the handcuff at some point, like before like check-in, after you get in, but on the plane, we're gonna take it out.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
That was nice. Yeah. Right. But
Little
still,
better.
you gotta, oh my gosh.
No, it was funny to get on the plane, like the ladies,
Yeah, in front.
they're like
The
so
handcuffs.
afraid, like on me. I was like,
walking
no,
by
I'm
everybody
fine,
to the
no worries.
And at this
I'm
point, you still,
harmless.
no dreads. They already shaved him. When you got into prison, this was 2 weeks after that you're going back.
2 weeks after. Like, the day that I got, like, I slept at the airport.
Yeah.
So woke up, got denied for the habeas corpus.
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy was like, man, we are sorry, but we have to take you to jail, And it'll be rough. It's a rough jail, but, like, that's all we can do. We cannot, like, have you here. Because they read all the paperwork. They say, man, it's sad that was not you, but, like, you had to go.
So they were pretty cool about it.
Yeah, at the airport, they were pretty cool.
So they drive you over to the jail.
Yeah, they drive
prison.
me, yeah.
And what do? You just go in and they immediately just start shaving. And
it was funny too, because the first time they took me was like maybe like 10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Then I got to jail, and that day in Brazil, some very historic happened. Because like Rio has a lot of like drug dealing in the hills around the city.
Okay.
And that day they did an operation. It was like kind of like a secret operation.
Like a sting.
In those hills. So they arrest a lot of drug dealers. So many of them. And all of them went to the same prison.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That morning. So like
You're in processing with all them?
Yeah, I'm getting to jail. And then the guy, like the jail director or something, he was like, oh no, we're not accepting anyone. Because we have so many drug dealers coming this morning, so nobody...
No more prisoners.
What are you supposed to do?
Else.
Yeah, so they took me back to the airport.
Oh!
For like one more night.
No, and then like it was an hour away, so I went 1 hour back.
In the same day?
Same day. And then they were like, man, as soon as I got to jail, they're like, hey, we're not like having nobody from like airports or whatever, like take him back. And the guys are like, 2 guys are like, man, what are we supposed to do? Like, yeah, we're not like, accept anyone. Like, take him back. So they took me back to the
airport.
And the responsible over there said, man, like, yeah, they have to take him, man. Like, he cannot stay here. Then he called jail. Like, man, you gotta take this kid. This kid is from a different city.
No
he has
way.
to be in that jail.
Huh.
That's what the paperwork says. And then I go back to jail. And then that was like 3 p.m. or something.
Was it hard cutting your dreads and everything? I mean, it's been a part of you for 11 years.
Since it's a spiritual thing.
Spiritual, right.
So was not like...
I'd imagine you have to cry.
Yeah, like was not like sad, you know?
Okay.
Was more like intimate, like, you know, like situation. Was like like meditating and, you know, like trying to understand the situation, you know, what's going on. I knew there was no option. Like I have friends that were arrested before. They shave your head right away. So I knew that was going to happen.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, you know. So was trying like just to be like patient and meditate and
accepting it.
Yeah, and see what was going to happen, because I know how jails are rough in Brazil. Right. So that was the main worry, you know, like when I...
Your main worry was your safety.
Yeah, when they were shaving my head, like, you know, I was more like, you know, a meditation, like, you know, like...
Did they shave your beard too?
They do at all, yeah.
Oh, so everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
Everything.
Full manscaping.
Yeah.
Were they tripping on your dreads? Were they like,
they were.
Dude, look at this.
They were even saying sorry.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were like, Rasta, I'm sorry, Rasta, but we have to do it, man. Like, very sorry, man. Like, can I do it? I was like, yeah, just go ahead. It's like, oh, man, that sucks, man. I don't want to do it, but... I was like, yeah, I understand, you know.
When you got out of jail, did they have them in a bag waiting for you? Like,
yeah, then like since like it's a spiritual, you know, like.
Oh, they saved them.
Vow, yeah, I saved my.
That's
hair.
amazing.
Yeah, to burn when I would get out, I would burn my hair.
Did you weigh them?
I actually did not.
No, I would have wanted to know how much those things weighed.
So many people ask that, like, man, should I weigh it?
Do you still have some?
No, I burned them all.
Oh, everything.
Yeah, burned them all.
So when you're in jail, you go to prison. Now you said you were, you know, it's a rough jail.
Rough.
I mean, you must have been scared also too.
First night, crazy. I knew all those stories, you know, of people like trying to rape people.
Yeah, you hear things, right?
And then I was
The
like,
snuggle
man,
bandit.
like first night, I'm like attached to the wall, no matter what happens. I won't move. You know?
You ain't turning around for nothing.
Dude.
I was like, I'll be like glued to the wall.
Right.
You know?
Guy didn't even use soap.
Yeah, and the first night was kind of crazy.
Right.
Then,
bottom bunk or top bunk?
Yeah, top bunk.
A little safer up there.
Yeah, for sure. And then like, as soon as I got in, like the guys were very cool.
Okay.
It was older guys, mostly like drug dealers,
Okay.
but older. So like it was funny because that usually doesn't happen in Brazil. Like some of the jails are very rough as soon as you get in. Like some places are dirty, some places are guys like trying to dominate and make you do things, you know. My cell was very like tranquilo.
Okay. Perfect.
It was very tranquilo. The guys were like, man, like polite, you know, and like was like older like criminal guys, you know. So like they had all those codes.
What they do?
So they told me as soon as I get in, they're like, can you read? I was like, yeah, like, so come read all the rules. So they had rules.
Oh, written
We had
down.
time to sleep, time to wake up, time to take shower, time to eat. You could not eat without a shirt, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like so many rules.
Interesting.
So they gave me all the rules, and first day I was like, yeah, for sure, and then let's follow. And that was funny because I was writing a lot when I was over there, like writing, reading, and writing. And one of the guys had a Bible, so I was reading a lot. And one day, because like in Brazil, the way it works is like every cell has the cell chief, let's say.
Okay.
Because in Brazil, sometimes there is like 40 people inside, like the cell, like 30, you know.
Yeah.
So always like either the oldest guy is the chief, or maybe if it's a high, like criminal.
High-ranking guy. Yeah.
So there was this guy, and he saw me like writing all the time, and he was like, man, why do you write so much? I was like, oh, it's just like poems, you know, like music.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, can I read? And then he's like, oh, it's like a rap.
Did he start rapping your...
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's like a rap. I was like, yeah, kind of. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, man, like, I cannot write good, you know. And my wife, she was arrested with me We were doing this dealing from city to city.
Okay.
And she was not like a criminal. So I'm very sad because she's in a different state prison, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he was like, would you write a letter for her, like, pretending it's me? I was yeah, man, for sure, man. No problem. And then I wrote like this crazy love letter.
Oh, really? Without him telling you what to write? You just wrote?
No, freestyle. He's like, yeah, just write a love letter. I was like, oh, man, I'm inspired right now. Like,
wow.
What?
crazy love letter, man. Man, like, this guy.
Did you get
Did he
dirty?
give you details?
No, not that. No, respect.
I want to suck on the mold.
Oh, my God.
Very respectful, but like, man, like deep love. You
Sure.
know? Like,
Right.
deep. I was like, something that was like inside. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like live all day on this love letter right now, you know?
Did he read it?
Yeah, I read to him. He's
he-
like, oh man, that's beautiful.
Okay.
And then he
Jacking
read.
off in the corner.
I know. Oh.
He read to her next morning because it was her birthday.
Oh, on the phone.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's why. Because you know,
You
Brazil,
can't send the
Brazil
letters and-
jails. They have phones. They
Sure.
have money. They
Oh.
have drugs. They have everything.
Right.
I know it's like that everywhere, like here or anywhere else.
How many people were in that cell with you?
11.
11.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of bunks.
Yeah, it
and-
was 6 bunks, and they would have like 12, but when I got in, it was 10, so 11 with me.
Okay.
But they said that sometimes it's like 30, 40.
Wow.
Yeah. That week was like mellow.
So he read the letter to the
her. Man,
She must have.
she was so happy. So happy. And then he was like, man, like, ask me whatever you need, man. You have. I was like, no, I'm cool, man. He's like, no.
You earned brownie points.
Yeah, so
You got some brownie points.
Man, like he would give me like so much, like, you know, like even like food because I'm vegan. So like at jail, everything like meat, you know.
Right.
So he would get all the fruits and it's like, oh, that's Adelmo's. Yeah, all the fruits are Adelmo's.
wow.
you know?
Wow.
And then like,
Yeah.
yeah, all because of
A
that letter.
love letter.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Damn. But wait a minute, though. You get in there. Do you even know how long you're going to stay?
I
mean,
had no idea.
In your mind,
Yeah.
this must
New
be
home.
just a day or two.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
No, I knew, like, for example, as soon as I got in, the way it works in Brazil too is like, this is very common. Like, everyone who's in the cell, they would ask, oh, what did you do?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, it was like a tax problem. And they were like, really? For taxes? I was like, yeah, like, my dad had a company. And they're like, wow, that's crazy, man. That's why you are on federal, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. And then, like, funny story, the guy was like, but how come did they bring you to jail? This jail? Because this jail is just for, like, dealing or, like, airport, like, people drug dealing from, like different countries to Brazil,
Okay.
you know, going out. And I was like, no, I was at the airport. It's like, oh, so where were you going? I was like, to the United States. Like, really? So you speak English? I was like, yeah, I do. They're like, oh man, they were like celebrating. They were like
Why?
so happy because there was this guy in a different cell that was arrested with 4 kilos of cocaine,
Oh, jeez.
and he could not speak a word of Portuguese.
He spoke English.
And they kind of like got to a point that the guy promised some money if they would get like his bag from the custody, because the guy still had like a kilo inside the bag.
That they didn't find.
Yeah. So they were like, man, you're gonna help us. I was like, man, why did I say that?
I know, right? Oh, no. Now you got to go try to get
Yeah.
this guy's luggage.
So every day the guys would be talking to me. Yeah, tell him that. Tell him this. Ask him that. So I was like the translator.
Oh, my. Did they ever get the bag?
They never got.
Never
by
got
the
it
point
back.
by the point I left jail, they didn't get the bag.
So 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
What was the final outcome? What happened? Did you have to pay off the taxes?
Yeah, as soon
or
as I got to my hometown.
when they transferred you?
Yeah, I
by
had
the surfer
Yeah,
cop.
yeah. We had like I had to see the judge, and the judge even said sorry. They said like, man, like it sucks that you went through that because like was not supposed to be you.
Right.
And he told my lawyer that day that he denied because of the address overseas. And my lawyer is a big friend of mine since a little kid. He's actually one of my first like skate friends.
Oh, wow.
From my hometown, yeah. And he got super mad. He went to fight the judge.
What?
Yeah, when he denied.
That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah,
not a good
idea at all.
Great friend, not a pretty good idea.
Great
You don't want
friend.
that. You don't want your lawyer
he,
in the
he jumped
cell
on
next
the
to
judge,
you.
and people had to hold him. But he said, "Man, like this kid didn't do anything, you know,
Right,
like
he was mad.
he's like skating, man, like he's just traveling, like
He's the
Right.
nicest dude on the
Yeah,
planet.
he's doing it.
Cause he brought so many magazines like
To show
like magazines from here, magazines from Brazil, you know.
Right.
But the guy was like, yeah, he has an address outside, you know.
Yeah, he could go out there and never
Yeah,
pay us.
never come back.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to your dad at any point about this?
Actually, I only talked to my dad like the day I got to my hometown, because my dad is from the countryside. When all that happened, man, like he was so sad.
I bet.
And he was so guilty,
Yeah, I bet.
and he disappeared. Like
Oh.
my brother didn't know who my dad was. My sister didn't know.
He went.
My
He
mom didn't know.
like went into like a hiding.
Yeah, he was like
Depressed.
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, my son is in jail, like in real, like cause of me, you know. Like he
Wow.
was super sad, super sad. And then, but like I talked to my brother and talked to my lawyer. Like they were mad cause he disappeared. But I was like, man, like don't be, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
that is from countryside, man. You know, countryside of Brazil. If Brazil is already passionate, countryside of Brazil is extra passionate. You know,
Right.
people so polite and so. So when that thing like happened, he was like, "Oh, it's my fault," and then he didn't know how to see people. People would ask, "Oh, like I heard Adelmo was there," you know.
Yeah.
He would be like, he would run, you know. Like,
Just
Yeah.
super
Ashamed.
guilty. Yeah.
shame, yeah.
Wow.
So like I just saw him like the day I got to my hometown, because he went to see me over
Okay.
there
Oh, wow.
at the police station.
Huh. So the final, do you have to pay off? Obviously.
Yeah, then I
you
had to pay, and that was funny because I was like, when that all happened, I think the taxes was like maybe $2,000, like $1,500.
That was it?
Yeah.
That $1,500.
No, when that happened, like
years ago. Oh,
years.
Oh,
when
okay.
that happened, and I had to pay $35,000.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot, yeah.
$35,000.
from the interest.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Was the only way to be free and get my passport back. And
Did you get your money from Chico?
no, I wish.
Dude,
I mean, that's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
that's crazy.